Hi, everybody. Welcome to my presentation today, using open education resources to support technical courses. I'm Esperanza Zenon. I'm a professor of physical science at River Parishes Community College in Gonzales, Louisiana. The project that I'll be discussing today was supported through a grant from the National Science Foundation. The Advanced Industrial Instrumentation Control Technician Training Project had at its core a goal of redesigning our existing industrial instrumentation degree program, working closely with our industry partners, and developing an introduction to IoT course or the Internet of Things course that includes Industry 4.0 technologies in a capstone environment. The whole goal was to expose our students to information and skills that our local industry partners need. A major part, of this project was to build some STEM modules. These STEM modules represent open learning content that was adopted and adapted to support the instrumentation program, which could also be utilized by our process technology program because of its portability. And it could also be shared system-wide with our sister colleges. These modules cover content such as basic math, fluids, circuits, physics fundamentals, and solid states and systems. This content was developed using a variety of sources that were also open so that we could easily adopt and adapt. And it included sources like Wisconsin Online, PhET, BC Campus, OpenStax, and the whole idea was to develop this content to bolster our students' STEM capabilities while providing them with a cost saving. Another major aspect of our project and proposal was to integrate these STEM modules so that we could address the academic needs of our diverse and rural student population. Many times, those students come to us with some academic needs, some academic challenges, and we use this content to review where needed, but also to remediate where needed. So I'll swap over here and show you some examples of the content that we developed. So this is an example of some math content that we developed to support our instrumentation course. So you can see that it's optional because the instructor can use it if they choose to. They can use as much of it as they choose to. And so this is easily portable to any of the courses that reside in our LMS, which is Canvas. So you see it contains content like decimals, measurement, dimensional analysis, trig. There's also some modules that we developed that deal with number systems. Here's another example of some of the content. This happens to deal with fluids. It deals with Pascal's principle, which is a major topic that our P-Tech students need to be aware of. But it is also very useful in many other courses, such as our physics and physical science. So you can see that this is content that is easily portable from our STEM classes as well as our technical courses. And it can be shared, again, via our LMS with other sister colleges. Here's just some quick data that we collected regarding the use of our STEM modules. You can see from this slide that there are students from a wide variety of backgrounds. We have drafting students using some CAD content that we developed. We have some medical assistant students using some of the STEM content that we developed. We have welding students using our content, especially as it pertains to things like fractions, decimals, and percents. And then instrumentation students using things like digital circuits and I&E. Okay, so again, you can see, you know, the use of these STEM modules are has a wide range. Here's just some feedback from our students regarding the content. So you can see, we asked the question, how often did you use these resources? And a good number of our students are using them. You can see that several are using it multiple times a semester, and we even have some students that are using this content daily. As far as their perception regarding the quality, you can see that none of our students said the quality was worse, and a large percentage said that this content is about the same as the quality of the content in other textbooks which they have to purchase. So you can see that a large number of our students did like or have a preference for this content, and you can see that students said that they would be very likely to register for other courses that incorporated open content, open technical courses, I should say. This survey was done with our technical students. Now, there are many other sites that utilize that we borrowed from to develop this content. Skills Commons is definitely a site that is useful if you're developing open content. If you click on this drafting link, which I will make this presentation available, you will get to a site called the Hitchhiker's Guide for AutoCAD. That's a really good site if you're developing drafting content. And then there are many, many sites, and I'm sure more than just this, that offer content to develop, that we use to develop our STEM modules, or that can be used to develop your own open content. Sermerlo is definitely a great site. I mentioned OpenStax FET, but there are others. Sailor is another great site. BC Campus happens to have some really great resources to support skilled trades. And so, again, I'm going to share this presentation, but feel free to reach out to me if you have questions regarding this content, some other content, if you'd like to share with me that you might know about, or if you're contemplating creating some content and you need some guidance. I'm always happy to help. So again, I look forward to hearing from you, and I really do appreciate you taking the time to review my presentation today. Take care, everybody.